Have you ever thought about where your produce comes from? Most grocery chains receive produce from various local and national farmers. In fact, there are about 3.4 million farmers in the United States today. But of that staggering number, only 45,000 are Black farmers. At the Better Buggy, we are a proud group of Atlanta-based Black-owned farmers, selling produce locally and nationwide. Our easy-to-navigate online platform makes it easy for you to make a one-time purchase or to simplify your life by subscribing to our weekly produce box. Whichever frequency you choose, you can order with confidence, knowing you'll receive 100% organic farm-fresh produce. If you're looking for a thoughtful gift for a loved one that they'd actually find useful, be sure to pop by our online store where you can snag a gift card your recipient can use to order their own produce and t-shirts. Ready to start supporting local Black-owned farms and making healthier food decisions? Visit thebetterbuggy.com now to start shopping.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank my subscribers, and my son actually sent this story to me. So a shout out to all of you. So this is CNN Politics, April 19th, 2021. Now, this is the officer that was killed and hospitalized. And remember, he died the very next day. So they're trying to say he died of natural causes. And ladies and gentlemen, by saying that, nobody's going to go to jail. We saw them beat cops, use bear spray. One of them that's jailed now tried to gouge his eyes out. We saw what happened, and he died the very next day. But it was unrelated. His death was unrelated to the beating that he took. You know, ladies and gentlemen, these folks stay on code at all costs. I promise you, if this was a Black Lives Matter protest and a cop got killed, oh, they would be holding people accountable that was not even directly involved in it. But believe me, this system is very rigged, and they are taught and raised to believe nothing they do should be punishable by the law. The law should exempt them from everything. This is one thing that has been blown wide open since COVID started. It is now shining a major light on all of the privilege they have, and why this is why they're always emboldened telling you that they like the cops, because they know the cops ain't ever going to harm them. They know it. If they were getting the same treatment we were getting, oh, you can best believe they would be turning it up in their anger. But see, they're not, because they know it doesn't impact them. So even when it's one of their own, you see they are willing to let each other go. White cop dead. Nobody's going to be accountable because the medical examiner says it's natural causes. So I guess if we didn't have the insurrection on January 6th, he would have died anyway. Is that what you're saying? He was a dead man walking even before you started. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. These folks really, truly believe no punishment, even when they kill people, there should be no punishment at all. We've seen it, and we're going to continue to see it going forward. Even with Derek Chauvin, whether he gets off or go to jail, you can best believe the sentence is not going to match the crime that was committed. But I promise you, if it was a Black guy kneeling on somebody's neck until they were dead, oh, they would be screaming from the roof that he's guilty. So let's get into this. U.S. Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick suffered strokes and died of natural causes one day after responding to the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. Washington, D.C.'s medical examiner has determined, and just understand, they're all in cahoots with each other, even folks down at that medical examiner office. I did a story a few years back, and this was on my first channel, where they had this woman that worked in the medical examiner's office. And when it was Black cases, and let's say it was a homicide, she would always always point the victim's death to the black person. And they finally caught her. She screwed up one day and they caught her. And it was over a case where somebody black died. And every time another pattern was, if it was a black person involved in the crime and it was a white cop, she had a pattern of the black victim was always guilty. And not one of her cases, when she examined bodies, it was ever the white cop's fault. And that woman ended up getting terminated and she lost her job. But, she really should have went to jail for what she did, because she lied on multiple, I think it was a few hundred court cases she lied on. So don't think for one moment, just because this medical examiner gave this type of report, it doesn't mean that that crowd didn't kill him. It didn't. It don't. And I don't know if this family is going to get a another opinion, but his body is now in the. He got cremated. That's right. He was cremated, ladies and gentlemen. So still, what a coincidence. He gets beaten up during this insurrection, and in 24 hours he dies, but that was of natural causes. You see how these people make fools out of you. Everything is a head game in America. Everything. And they just play these mind games and psychological games day in and day out. And it gotten to the point where only some of us are seeing it directly. We know what we're looking at and we know what they're telling us is a lie. But there's still a huge population of people in this country. They just hear it and they believe it. That's just the way it is. So the medical examiner, Francisco Diaz, did note, and he didn't note any evidence that Sicknick had an allergic reaction to chemical spray or listed any internal or external injuries, according to the Washington Post, which first reported the ruling. Still, Diaz told the newspaper that all that transpired on January 6th played a role in his condition. The ruling ensures that the Justice Department won't be able to pursue homicide charges in Sicknick's death. And that is the reason why he did that. And you listen, Diaz. All right. So he made sure he put natural causes on this cop's death certificate so that nobody can be tried for homicide. Okay. In March, two men, Julian Ellie Natter, and he was from Pennsylvania, and George Pierre Tiano, 39, from West Virginia, were arrested and charged with assaulting Sicknick. So I guess they're not upset what these people did, so they're going to let them go. Now, anytime somebody going to beat a cop up, try to gouge their eyes out, and you're saying there's nothing to put them in jail for, and you're going to let them go? People are a danger to society. If they're going to do that to cops, they'll do. Trust me, they're going to do it again. You didn't give them any consequences on not doing it again. They're going to show up on the scene or be in some situation, get into an altercation, and do the same thing again. Why shouldn't they? You're not punishing them. The pair traveled together to D.C. for the pro-Trump rally and have been charged with 10 criminal counts, including conspiring to injure police and assaulting officers using a dangerous weapon. The charges were never connected to the assault to Sicknick's death, and the prosecutors have not sought to hold any rioters accountable for murder. And they won't, because they're white. They won't. They won't, y'all. That was the purpose. Now you know why they put natural causes. That way nobody has to go to jail for Sicknick. See, you see what they do to their own? So do you really think they're going to put black people in jail when they're killed by white folks? They're showing you they're not even going to do it for their own. All right. So he allegedly sprayed 3 officers in the face, including Sicknick. Okay. causing them all to have, they had to take time out from manning the police barrier outside the Capitol building. Tianos is allegedly, he brought the guy from West Virginia, he brought the bear spray in his backpack. Both defendants have pled not guilty. And yeah, they're getting away with it now because the medical examiner just helped them out. Capitol Police said in a statement Monday that the department accepts the findings from the Office of Medical Examiner, but this does not change the fact that Officer Brian Sicknick died in the line of duty courageously. Yeah, well, you feel that way, but you're not willing to make someone accountable for his death. Trust me, if he was not at that insurrection, he would be alive today. Plain and simple, he would be alive today. The department continues to mourn the loss of our beloved colleague. The attack on our officers, including Brian, was an attack on our democracy. Yeah, but not enough for you to charge people. And it's one thing if you didn't have evidence. There's evidence of them beating on cops and grabbing cops and doing all that stuff. It's evidence of it. It's not like you could say, well, we don't have any evidence of him being hit. That's a damn lie. You do. The Justice Department has charged more than 100 people for assaulting officers during the riot. Okay, well, if you're going to let the killers off of this cop, more than likely you're going to let them off. All they did was injure a few officers. Why would they get punished, but the officer that was killed, you're not punishing anybody? Mm-mm-mm. Wow. And in many cases have used police body cameras and surveillance video to show the gruesome attacks to judges. More than 80 U.S. Capitol Police who worked for the federal government and more than 60 Metropolitan Police who worked for the city were assaulted, the DOJ said last week. And look, nobody's punished. But I'm telling you, wait until these folks go to court and you see the lightweight sentences they're going to get just on the fact that they're white and not for any other reason. In video shown in court previously, Sicknick and other officers whom were sprayed, they were seen lurking away as they are hit in the face. Sicknick can be seen walking by himself, stopping to put his hands on his knees on the step of the Capitol. The clip has not been released publicly, aside from being played by the court once in March. In court, lawyers involved in making it clear that Catter spoke extensively to investigators already, and so did the other guy from Virginia. And they've both been in jail for more than a month. Determining what happened to Sicknick on January 6th has put a focus of the Capitol insurrection investigation for months. Initially, the Capitol Police said in a statement that he died due to injuries sustained while on duty, and prosecutors were pursuing a murder investigation. And then here comes the medical examiner saying it was natural causes. So now that brings everything to a halt. And these people are going to walk away from a crime as usual. They walk away from all kinds of crimes, y'all. Rape, murder, breaking and entering. It doesn't matter. By default, they're never wrong. By default, they will get off for things. Black people can be walking around with weed and they're ready to put you in jail and keep you in there. But these folks do some heinous crimes, because what happened during that insurrection were heinous crimes. It was. Okay. And then you went in there like some untrained animal and peed and pooped all over the place. Ladies and gentlemen, don't ever let these people wag their finger in your face talking about what black people do and what black people don't do. Don't ever let them get away with that, especially when you see stuff like this. And we see them take mass shooters in without a scratch. And we'll see Karen falsifying a phone call to them, and she gets no consequences. They're not in any position to tell us nothing. Nothing. With their track record, stay off the soapbox. No one wants to hear you. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.